week.
Wow, we saw the miscue of the 48 team. Larry, as you know, as a former crew chief, pit road, such a big part of the equation in any race. There were troubles there last night. Here's Daniel Trotta and Matt Clark with more in tonight's Teardown.
Thanks, Steve. Casey's teammates on the 48 team of Jimmy Johnson understand that feeling of being in victory lane. They've really been on an emotional high, Matt.
They sure have.
They win the 200th win for Mr. Hendrick at Darlington. Then they follow it up here in Charlotte with the first win ever for the 48 in the pit crew competition and nabbed $1 million winning the All-Star race. Jimmy said he didn't want the week to end.
I wouldn't want it to end winning $1 million.
But things did end abruptly in the Coke 600 last night. Slow pit stops highlighted by a disastrous stop on lap 354.
Here we come, fellas, at road speed. 2 tires, 2. Turn in, turn in, turn in, turn in. Nice and smooth. Get her full. Be ready, be ready, be ready. Go, 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 go. Stop, go, 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 go. Stop, 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 stop. Oh.
Matt, this team has been on an emotional high. They've really been on fire the last 2 weeks, and all of that momentum goes up in smoke last night. How does this happen?
Well, they've had a good body of work up to this date. They've done a good job for the 48, winning races, 200 pit crew challenge. But that is a race killer. Brandon Harder just kept that can hung up in the back of the car when the car dropped. The cue is to go on the jack. He kept it hung up. You have TJ Ford taking a look at what's going on up front. RJ Burnett slips a little bit, but the big issue is back here. The fuel can gets hung up as the car is moving out of the pits. With these new systems, Danielle, you cannot be hooked up with the car when it drops and it starts to move. You see what happens here? Bad stuff. I mean, it's just tough way to end the night. Just tough on the guy.
And you see this fueler take a hard fall. NASCAR is always looking at safety first. Is it time to look at a gas can that's easier to disengage at an angle as opposed to having to be straight on? So these things don't happen in the future.
There's one manufacturer, Schultz Manufacturing, that supplies this. If you pulled all the fuelers out there, they would say yes. However, I do not see NASCAR making a change to any part of the fueling system.
Pit road not only sloppy for the teams, but the drivers too. Brad Keselowski and Tony Stewart doing the do-si-do. On lap 264, Brad Keselowski is exiting his pit stall as smoke is coming in.
Lane, watch the 14 outside, outside.
He called it, but it was a little bit too late. Brad was coming out, tagged the 14, spun around. Here's what I see as a great save right here. Tony Stewart guns it, pinches it sideways. Crab walks it into the pit stall. Unbelievable car control by Smoke. That's why these guys are considered the best drivers in the world, in my opinion, Danielle.
He is our defending champion. He also took responsibility for the incident, and so did Brad Keselowski. Were you surprised, Matt, that tempers didn't flare there? There was no retaliation on the racetrack.
Well, when you see those two guys, Brad and Tony, both of them are emotional guys, I am surprised. However, cooler heads prevailed. Good job, boys. Go racing. Try to go get the win.
Brad managed a top 5 finish. Tony Stewart, on the other hand,